Okay, so that quote from Mahip Kapoor about Shanaya,
Oh, yeah.
the one where she basically says, like, why shouldn't my daughter use the advantages she has? It really got me thinking.
Right.
And it feels like the perfect way to kick off this whole conversation
Yeah.
about Nepo babies in Bollywood.
Definitely.
Like, this debate just keeps going and going.
It does. It really cuts to the core of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not some taboo topic anymore. It's out there.
For sure.
And what I find so interesting is how, how we understand this now, how it's evolved based on all these real stories and observations from the stuff you've gathered. It's about seeing past the surface.
Absolutely.
And really getting into the mechanics of it all.
Yes, because this is not just some fleeting internet trend. This is like ingrained in Bollywood. And where we talk about it now, it's so much more intense.
Yeah.
So our goal here is to really delve into the history.
Okay.
See where things stand now. And maybe uncover some surprising aspects
interesting.
of this whole Nepo baby narrative.
Yeah. And it's crucial to remember that while the Nepo baby label feels very now, the reality is family connections have been there for decades.
Of course.
What's really changed is how aware the public is now.
Right.
And how much more scrutiny there is.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Yeah.
When did this current wave of this really intense discussion around nepotism in Bollywood, when did it really take off?
Yeah.
I mean, family connections have always been there.
Of course. They've always been part of the scene.
Right, but it feels like the volume got turned up.
Absolutely.
In the last few years.
You're right on the money.
Right.
While the industry has always had familial influence, there are some key moments that were like catalysts.
Okay.
For sure.
Interesting.
Kanga Ranat's remarks about Karan Johar on his show back in 2017, calling him out as a central figure in promoting nepotism. That was a major turning point.
It was. It was a bold statement.
It was a public accusation that really resonated with people.
Definitely seismic.
Yeah.
And then there's that moment with Sitin Chaturvedi.
Oh, tell me about it.
When he kind of shut down Ananya Pandey back in 2019.
Yeah.
She was talking about her struggles. And he just comes back with that quote.
Yeah.
Where our dreams are fulfilled, their struggle begins.
Oh my God, that line went viral.
I know. Like wildfire.
It's because it was just so perfect.
Right.
It summed up the whole situation. Totally different starting points for those with connections and those without.
Totally. And it was just so concise.
So true.
But so powerful.
It was a simple truth.
Right.
But it sparked the debate.
Exactly.
And then we see those moments amplified. Spread so quickly online.
It's the digital landscape now.
It is.
It's a different world.
Exactly.
And that's where the whole Nepo baby label really comes in.
Right. It really takes hold.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a way to immediately categorize someone.
It is. It's like a shorthand.
Yeah.
It's almost a loaded term. It really gained traction, especially after that New York Magazine cover a couple of years ago. But in India, this awareness of star kids and their advantages, it's always been there. The label just gave it a name. Yeah.
It's like it created a common language.
I think so.
For a conversation that was kind of happening in whispers before.
Right. Exactly.
So what is the typical path
for
these Nepo babies entering Bollywood?
Well,
is there a kind of predictable sequence of events?
There does seem to be a pattern.
Okay.
Almost a well-rehearsed routine. It often starts with a ton of pre-release buzz.
Like what kind of buzz?
Media appearances. Magazine spreads. It's almost like a coronation before their first film is even out.
Like, watch out for the next big thing.
Exactly.
Right.
But this initial hype is almost immediately followed by intense scrutiny online.
Especially around their debut. Yes. Every clip, every interview, every dance move is analyzed.
And often harshly.
Yeah, we've seen some examples of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like with Veer Pahoria.
Tell me about it.
His film, Skyforce, hadn't even come out.
I know.
And people were making fun of his dancing online.
Already.
Yeah, it felt like a preemptive strike.
It did. The speed and intensity of that online judgment is... remarkable.
It's crazy.
Then you have someone like Junaid Khan.
Okay.
You know, his promotional stuff for Love Yapa, trying to appear relatable.
Right.
Taking an auto rickshaw, trying to dance, acknowledging his privilege.
Yeah.
It was all met with criticism.
Like, they can't win.
Right.
If they try to be relatable, it's seen as inauthentic. If they acknowledge their privilege, they're labeled as entitled.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It is, even with those advantages.
For sure.
But let's zoom out for a second.
Okay.
It's true that Bollywood has always had these family networks.
Absolutely.
This isn't new.
No, it's not a sudden development at all.
Right.
The history of Bollywood is full of these multi-generational families.
Like, who are we talking about here?
The Kapoors.
Okay.
The Bakshans. The Deals.
Yeah.
The Roshans.
Right.
These are legacies that have shaped the industry.
For decades.
For decades.
It's almost like nepotism is part of how Bollywood works.
Yeah, it's like a built-in system.
Like an apprenticeship.
Exactly. Yeah. It's passed down through families.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
Like a mentorship or access system that not everyone has.
Right.
And we've seen so many examples of this.
We have.
In action.
Tell me about it.
Like Hrithik Roshan.
Okay.
In Kahona, Pyar Hai. That was definitely helped.
Oh, for sure.
By his father, Rakesh Roshan.
Who directed and produced it.
Exactly. Then you have Ranbir Kapoor and Sonam Kapoor.
Oh, yeah.
Debuting together in Sawaria.
I remember that.
Sanjay Leela Bhansali directed it.
Right.
But their family connections played a role.
They opened doors.
Then there's Imran Khan.
Uh-huh.
With Shintu Jaina.
Right.
That got a huge boost.
Oh, yeah.
Because his uncle, Amir Khan, produced it.
That's right.
And Student of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Classic example.
Of what?
Of Karan Johar launching Biopot and Varun Dhawan.
Yes.
Both from film families.
Alongside Siddharth Malhotra.
Right.
Yeah.
Who didn't have those connections.
Didn't have that built-in network.
It's a clear pattern.
It is.
When you lay it all out like that. So if this has been the norm for so long, why is there so much outrage now?
That's the question, isn't it?
What's changed?
Yeah, what's the big shift?
What's amplified this debate?
The game changer is social media.
Oh, interesting.
It's everywhere.
Okay.
In the past, there was a distance, a carefully constructed image surrounding star kids. We saw them in controlled environments, media appearances, magazine covers on the big screen.
Sure.
Our access was limited.
It was curated.
They were like these mythical figures.
Almost untouchable.
Elevated and untouchable.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah. But now, platforms like Instagram have changed everything.
How so?
They've demystified the whole thing. We see glimpses into their lives, unfiltered glimpses, extravagant vacations, designer clothes.
Yeah.
Casual mentions of their famous parents.
Okay.
It's a constant reminder of their privilege.
And that's where the resentment comes in.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
It's not just about the initial opportunity.
Right.
It's this perception of entitlement.
Yeah.
That's constantly being broadcast.
And it rubs people the wrong way.
It does.
The internet has zero tolerance.
So true.
For that kind of thing.
Right.
It's like these posts, whether they mean to or not, highlight the gap.
The huge gap.
Between their lives and most people's reality.
Exactly. It fuels the anti-Nepo baby sentiment.
Totally.
Okay.
And then there's the actual acting.
Okay.
We can't ignore that Bollywood is seen, let's say, some less than stellar acting.
I like how you put that.
From star kids over the years.
Right.
It's not always a guarantee.
No, definitely not.
Of talent.
Uh-huh.
Just because you come from a film family.
Right.
And now with social media.
Yes.
Those moments.
Those awkward scenes.
Right.
The less than perfect dance moves.
Yeah.
They live on forever.
They get captured.
And replayed endlessly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like a highlight reel.
And it becomes fodder for online mockery.
It does.
Which brings us to this fascinating,
tell me,
almost paradoxical phenomenon.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's this idea of hate watching.
Oh, that's interesting.
We criticize these films and actors, but we still watch them.
I mean, it's a strange thing.
It's like a morbid curiosity.
It is. We expect a train wreck.
We know it's going to be bad.
Right.
But we still watch it.
We can't look away.
And meanwhile, the good independent films struggled to get any attention.
It's a disconnect
between
what we say we value and what we actually watch.
Exactly.
But this online engagement,
even the negative stuff, it boosts their profile.
It does. Every meme,
every comment adds to the conversation.
It all keeps them in the conversation.
Which leads to this really provocative question.
Oh, okay. I like where this is going.
Are Nepo babies the new underdogs.
Whoa. That's a hot take.
It sounds crazy.
Does.
Given their advantages.
Right. They have all the advantages.
But think about the scrutiny.
Okay.
The negativity they face, the argument is.
Right.
The argument is.
What is it?
That all that attention.
Even the bad attention.
Keeps them relevant.
It keeps them in the public eye.
So even the negative buzz has value.
In the attention economy.
Yeah.
It does. It keeps their names out there.
So even if we're all rolling our eyes at a performance, we're still talking about it.
We're still engaging with it.
Sharing clips.
Yeah.
It all adds up.
It all contributes to their online presence.
It does.
And in a way, they stay relevant.
It's kind of genius.
Is it?
In a twisted way.
Right.
Maybe Mahip Kapoor was onto something with that question.
Right.
Should she not take advantage of her privilege?
Interesting.
Maybe she understands.
Maybe she gets it.
How the industry works.
In this digital age, maybe it's not about entitlement.
Right.
But more about pragmatism.
Accepting the reality.
Recognizing that nepotism is here to stay.
And that even negative attention plays a role.
It keeps the cycle going.
So the next time a Star Kids film is trending and everyone's talking about it,
right?
Maybe we should ask ourselves,
okay,
are we watching because we're actually interested?
Right.
Or are we just drawn to the drama?
It's a good question to ask.
And regardless of why we're watching, does Bollywood benefit?
From all the talk.
From keeping the conversation going.
Right. Whether it's good or bad.
It really makes you think.
It does. This whole Nepo baby conversation, it's more complicated and maybe even more self-sustaining than we realize.
Definitely food for thought.
For sure.
Thanks for diving in with me on this.
It's been a pleasure.
Always a good time.
Always.
Until next time.
See you.